Hello everyone and welcome to an exclusive episode of SequelCentric. We take a look at follow-ups in media and see how they stack up against their predecessors. I'm Duff and he's the Zane to my Brett, Nate.
How's it going, Duff?
What's up, man? This is a special occasion because this is our first exclusive episode of SequelCentric.
Since this is a special episode, we should talk about a special movie called Maverick, released in 1994, directed by Richard Donner. That would be the same Richard Donner that did Superman 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah, because, Donner did Superman 2. Some say better than the theatrical release.
That was good.
I thought we might abandon the orange juice for once.
So, stay tuned for that.
This movie is, in my book, very interesting because it's actually a sequel or a follow-up to the 1957 TV show Maverick, but it has a lot of the same stepping stones as Support Your Local Sheriff and Support Your Local Gunfighter.
What's your occupation?
I'm a gunfighter.
So I felt that we should talk about it because it kind of fits within SequelCentric's formula.
We're not actually comparing Maverick to the TV show, which would then make it, I guess, just a regular old SequelCentric episode. We're comparing it to its spiritual predecessor, which is Support Your Local Sheriff and Support Your Local Gunfighter. Now, let me read you the plot line for, we'll just say, the Support Your Local Gunfighter from 71. A con artist arrives in a mining town, controlled by two competing companies. Both companies think he's a famous gunfighter and try to hire him to drive the other out of town. And now we look at the 1994 plot for Maverick, starring Mel Gibson before he went hee-hee. Brett Maverick, needing money for a poker tournament, faces various comic mishaps and challenges, including a charming woman thief. Oh, I don't know, like Patience?
Yeah, it's, if you've seen, Support Your Local Sheriff and Support Your Local Gunfighter, and you watch this, as it's starting to unfold, you can see it's got a lot of the similar DNA.
You, on the other hand, are a gunfighter. And an exceptional one at that, from what I hear. So if I decided to go up against you, what chance would I have had? Answer? 0. Absolutely none whatsoever.
Mel Gibson's character, Brett Maverick, is obviously, the Latigo Smith character. James Garner kind of takes a step back and plays the, I don't want to say sidekick, but secondary role.
I think I would actually call him the tertiary star of this movie because we don't even see Garner until about, 25 minutes in?
Remove your hands from the lady.
Sometimes when you least expect it, your hero arrives. Mr.
Cooper, Zane Cooper. Folks call me Coop. It suits me just fine.
Coop.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, Jodie Foster's character, Annabelle
Bransford, yes.
Yeah, Bransford. I would say she's a strong female character, but...
What if we went to a picnic and you got some ants in your shirt and you had to rip it off and everybody would see it? Yes! There you'd be, laid out with some other woman's name on your chest. I love Goldie.
But not in the same ways as Patience or Prudy.
I think she was independent like Prudy, but mischievous like Patience. But see, she had a deceitful factor that none of the other predecessing female roles had.
That's him, Pa.
I told you
Oh, if only I had my rifle, I could nail him right between the shoulder blades.
that'd be murder.
So?
Oh, yeah. The other ones would, swing a board at you or shoot you down with the Winchester. She'll just come up and sweet talk you and then walk away with your billfold, which, Brett Maverick found out.
Annabelle. How can I possibly go on without my wallet?
On several occasions.
He, too, being a con artist, was onto her tricks. But he gets duped by her a couple of times.
right, so let's give it some pros and cons, Nate. I'm going to defer to you.
So many great pros. Richard Donner, for one, being the director. Two, throwing in a little bone with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover because, Warner Brothers distributed this movie, which they did with Lethal Weapon, and Richard Donner did that one. So that's a little nod. And even Danny Glover's gang robbing a bank, he even says his classic line from Lethal Weapon 1 or 2. I'm getting too old for this shit.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
Which is a nice little throw, a nice little nod if you watch those movies,
Yeah, they needed a little warning, though, because I nearly spit out my beverage. That was a crazy line. I knew something was going to happen when I saw them looking at each other, Danny Glover and Mel Gibson.
Give me that.
Looking at each other and going, nah. That was just a classic callback to Lethal Weapon, and I thoroughly love that. I'm checking that off as a pro.
You got I like the little cameos, like I said. The guy actor that played Nick Tortelli, Uncle Jesse, and even the actor that played Doc Schultz in Support Your Local Gunfighter. He had a small little cameo role, which warmed my heart.
Yeah, it almost legitimized it as a spiritual successor.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Another big pro in my book was the whole Native American scene where, Maverick is talking Indian and he's just telling the settlers or the pioneers or whatever
Point your
one thing.
finger, speak angry.
I'll take care of this.
And then he tells his buddy, who's the chief of the tribe, hey, just go along. He's like, well, hurry it up. It's getting really hot out here. And then he has a way to break away from Annabelle and Zane pretty cleanly because every chance Annabelle gets, she tries to take Maverick's money because she, too, is trying to get the $25,000 entry fee to the big riverboat poker championship.
Yeah. Since we're talking about Annabelle, let's talk about Jodie Foster. I have had a huge crush on Jodie Foster since way, way back from Freaky Friday. The original, not the reboot, which is another episode. And this movie perfectly illustrates why I still, as an adult, have a crush on Jodie Foster. She is just a true treasure to Hollywood cinema.
Her resume is pretty impressive.
Another pro, I really loved how Maverick does a great job portraying the witty characters formerly portrayed by Latigo and Jason. I know what I'm saying here, but I really do feel that Mel Gibson channeled the former characters played by Garner to complete these roles as good as he did.
From the moment I slapped eyes on this hombre, I smelled trouble and refried beans.
And seeing Garner play alongside Gibson as Coop really legitimized this as a spiritual sequel.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely a pro in my book.
Big pro in my book as well.
Now, the one con I will say is the plot line got a little convoluted and thick in the britches towards the end when you really didn't know who Coop's character was. Was he a good guy? Was he a bad guy? Was he double-crossing, triple-crossing? And then at the end, you find out that it was, of course, Annabelle's character.
Yeah, I think the one con that I can add is it's a little bit too long. I think you could cut out something a little bit here and there. I don't know what.
Ungrateful.
But, the one thing I like about the other two movies, Support Your Local Sheriff and Support Your Local Gunfighter, they're 90-minute movies. This one's a smidgen over 2 hours.
To debate on that one topic, I think that, yes, it is about 20, 25 minutes too long when compared to your traditional 90-minute, super flick. Easy, digestible, in and out. You're good. Yeah. You get some popcorn. Everyone's happy. with a 2-hour film, and I had to stop watching it last night, go to bed, and then finish watching it today because it just was just 20 minutes too long. And so while I agree with you there and would perceive that as a con, would we still have the double take between Lethal Weapon actors Danny Glover and Mel Gibson? Would they have still kept that in if they were going for a 90-minute movie? And there are a lot of gems like that, like I'm too old for this shit, like the double take scene that happened just before that. Those are classic scenes that really got me tied into the movie early because it brought me back, and it's like, okay, I know what they're doing. Oh, this is great. Okay, let's watch. It got me involved with the movie. So as much as I'd like to say it's a con having a 2-hour, 4-minute or whatever movie, I'm gonna say leave it at that because we did get those hidden gems.
By the time you got to the 1990s, I think the standard movie was anywhere from 2 hours to 2 hours and 20 minutes or something like that, which is, great, but sometimes you just want something a little bit more digestible. But overall, it's I wouldn't know where to cut it out.
All right, so let's talk about the entire reason we're doing this exclusive episode. Does its sequel in the context of not being a reboot of the TV show, but in that it is a spiritual sequel, an obvious spiritual sequel to any fan of Support Your Local?
My take on it is, yes, it does sequel because it's got a lot of the same elements. The sheer fact that, like you said earlier, Mel Gibson is channeling the Jason McCullough and Latigo Smith character so well. You got Garner in there that, kind of legitimizes the whole thing. It's like, oh, James Garner is here. Excellent. This is going to be great.
Yeah. As soon as I saw Garner, I was like, okay, cool. This is legit.
I was covered in snakes. There were snakes. You're babbling. In a tree, and there were snakes all over me. You're babbling.
Richard Donner, I think, did a great job. I like most of his movies, and it's so tough to do. There's certain Western comedy or comedy Western is a hard one. Sort of like if you're trying to do like comedy horror or something.
Maybe His Largeness be interested in greatest Western thrill of all.
You got to do it just right.
Yeah,
because if you don't,
tricky.
you're gonna get crucified by people.
Almost got hung myself once. Didn't care for it much.
And I think Donner did such a well job. I mean, did he watch Support Your Local Sheriff?
He had it had to have.
Maybe he was, without doing additional research, maybe he watched Maverick back in 1957. Who knows? But I think he nailed it. And for me, it's sequels.
For me, it really was a question of how is the movie going to end? It's one thing to say, okay, this could be construed as a sequel, but let's see. And it wasn't until I realized that, okay, Mel Gibson's the son of James Gardner's
Cooper,
character.
which is his alias, I'm guessing.
My old pappy always used to say, there is no more deeply moving religious experience than cheating on a cheater.
I never said that once. You've been misquoting me all your life.
We're gonna quibble over fine
You
points?
never even get a flow. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, so
It's got to be, right? I mean, Maverick is his last name.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't until I realized that they were a father-son duo.
No, that was, for me, that was a great twist.
It was.
I mean, even when you thought James Garner character was a legit older lawman and he's just going along, and then you find out he's actually the security for the poker thing, right?
Yeah. And then the last twist was at the end, you figure out, oh, he's an old lawman from the West. It's like, wait, what?
And then it's like, I'm getting, he wants a payout. It's like, he's been doing it too long. Let me do a payout. And then when the Commodore wants to shoot him, and Maverick just comes up and goes, oh, no, just let him go, whatever. Yeah. And it's like, dude, are you crazy? But when you get to the very, very end, you realize it's father and son. And even the deal that Cooper had with the Commodore, it's so funny. what'd you say? Like 95% of the movie is pretty much straightforward. It's like the last 15 minutes, it takes like what, 3-4 twists and turns.
And that's where my con came from, of it being convoluted towards the end of the plot line. It is most certainly very twisted, and I don't mean twisted to the fact where, okay, it's going to be a hidden twist. Okay, so it's going to let me know, okay, that's coming. No, it's okay, well, it was a twist on a twist on a twist.
You're just so irritating and likable.
Oh, I'll have to work on that, I guess.
See, there you go, being all likable.
And usually you don't see that unless it's confusing, and until the very end it was.
I did like the nice surprise. Yeah, for me, the payoff at the very end was finding out that, that Coop was, Maverick's dad, you know. And then when he was shaving off his mustache, it's like, hey, it's Latigo. Hey, it's Jason, Yeah.
Yeah. The ending really brought it around full circle. And so for that, I will say the ending made it sequel for me.
That, as they say, is that. Oh, shit.
That only leaves one thing. Buy it, watch it, or ditch it. Nate?
I would say buy it for sure. It's hard to do a comedy Western. I mean, Western comedy, sorry. Blazing Saddles is a comedy Western.
Pull yourself together, man! Everybody's looking. Admit it, that was funny.
I didn't think so.
But it's one of those Sunday movies or weekend movies. If you're looking for, once again, a good feel movie, and I say buy it.
All right. Well, I am going to say, look, if you're looking for a great Mel Gibson movie, probably isn't it. Look for Braveheart, Lethal Weapon. Both great movies, and Lethal Weapon is a great franchise that we will be covering later on in the series. So if you're looking for a standout performance by Garner, let's go back to the Rockford Files. But as a spiritual sequel, if you are a fan of the franchise, the support your local franchise, I will say watch it. If you're a fan of Garner, if you're a fan of Gibson, if you are a fan of the franchise, then buy it. But I'll say watch. Well, I'm a huge Mel Gibson fan, so I definitely enjoyed this episode. Hope you did as well. We're going to get out of here for this episode, and thank you guys for supporting us like you do. Well, I guess that's it. Until next time, ask yourself this one very important question. Does it sequel?
Excellent!